Searching for inventory. This tutorial will demonstrate how to narrow down and find specific inventory records. It will also show you how to save inventory in your My Favorites list. The inventory search page allows you to produce a manageable list of resource items based on your search criteria. You can search by multiple criteria and by criteria in more than one panel. However, you can only open one panel at a time. The Resource ID and Org Resource Identifier fields provide a quick way to find a known resource. Wildcards do not apply on these two fields. However, any other free-form text entry assumes a wildcard before or after the entry. It is important to note that search criteria are AND searches, and that results must have all of the criteria selected. If the criteria is a list that lets you select more than one thing, it will search for everything you have selected. We'll see that later. Let's take a quick look at each of the panels. By Characteristics allows you to include very detailed criteria about one or several features of the resource, including restriction type. By Location lets you search for inventory based on address attributes for the inventory location. The By Typing panel searches for inventory that meets certain resource categorizations, including kind, category, and hazards. And the last panel, one of the most popular, lets you search by name, ownership, and status. If you are maintaining inventory for your organization, you may want to search for inventory limited to your organization. If you are looking for inventory outside of your organization, you will want to select Exclude My Organization. So let's do our first search. You need to know what vehicles are available. You enter the keyword vehicle, and since you already know your inventory, you select the Exclude My Organization radio button and hit search. You're taken to the inventory results list page, which displays all inventory resource items in the system that satisfy the search criteria. You can see that there are several results in the system grouped by kind. Note that this isn't the quantity of a specific item. The quantity is shown in the quantity column. Lists can be grouped and filtered in a variety of ways. Let's group our list by location. You can also export the list. We won't go into the details of how to work with lists in this tutorial. There is a separate training video working with lists, which will show you the features of how lists work, such as grouping, filtering, sorting, and exporting. You can customize the columns you want to look at by going to the Edit Visible Columns. If you want to see the detail behind an inventory record, click on the inventory ID number. In our next search, we have multiple criteria. First, we want to go to By Type and select aircrafts. We'd also like to select vehicles for the kind. On the Name and Ownership panel, we choose Exclude My Organizations. Hit Search and see our results. What do you do if your results aren't quite what you were looking for? To start a new search from scratch with no criteria, click Search in the menu. In this example, we don't want to start over. We'd like to edit our existing search, so we go to Edit Our Search. This takes us to the inventory search page with our original search criteria still there. Notice that Exclude My Organization is still selected. The By Typing panel isn't open, but when we go back to it, our types are still selected. For this search, we'd really only like to be looking for vehicles, so we unselect aircraft, hit search again, and go back to our results list. If we want to further narrow down your search, you can apply a filter. You know you're going to want to look at the vehicles again, so let's mark them as a favorite. So are you getting the hang of searching? There are a couple of shortcuts to point out. The first one is My Inventory. This is a list of all inventory tied to your organization and any sub-organizations. The other shortcut is My Favorites. My Favorites is a great way for you to have a quick look at the inventory items you use most often, or in the event of an emergency, you can put items you may need into My Favorites so that you have access to them without having to search again. There is a special report for My Favorites. The report or an export of this list can be used to attach to an official resource request. If you no longer want the item on your favorite list, check the item and then from the Action List drop-down, choose Unmarked Favorites and hit Go. You can also select multiple items at one time. We're done with our overview of searching for inventory. Don't forget to look at the other tutorials for helpful information.